Shining Dragoon, everybody. That was great. Up next, the Krion Conquest by badbrakes. I like to think of it as the Dark Souls of Mega Man clones featuring brooms. It'll be an any percent run, but we'll also be defeating all bosses thanks to a donation incentive that you all met. Sam Red donated $25 a bit ago and said, Mythical 9 just put on a showcase of mastery with the Kabuki Quantum Fighter run. Mastery in play, in words, and in respect for those who came before. Looks like I wasn't the only person inspired to donate as a result. Good luck to tonight's late night runners. Thanks so much, Sam Red, for the thought there. Now we'll be taking a brief commercial break. Tokyo Attack specializes in bringing rare Japanese import games to conventions and events all across the country, featuring titles such as U-Beat, Super Table Flip, Taiko no Tatsujin, and much, much more. They host America's largest collection of independently owned imported arcade cabinets. We thank Tokyo Attack for the help in sponsoring AGDQ 2017. Thinking of the Yeti reminds me that I probably owe an apology to Yeti Glenn for what happened to Yeti there in the Chaos fight on Final Fantasy, but we'll have to deliver that to him later. We received a $100 donation from Owen who said, Best of luck to Vuligin in 0XP. She sends her purrs. Referring to the Ori and the Blind Forest run coming up a little bit later this morning. Thanks, Owen. After the Krion Conquest, we'll be having Street Fighter 2010, The Final Fight, and River City Ransom. Stay tuned, because before River City Ransom, I have a little surprise for everyone. Sebastian getting in the spirit of things with my commentary. Thanks, man. He sends in $50 and says, Hello, I like to think of 50 euros as the Dark Souls of donations. Thank you so much for all your effort. Save the animals and keep up the great work. AGDQ hype! Greetings from Germany. Thanks, Sebastian. Love people getting in the spirit with me. I appreciate that a lot. KCO Wolf donated $25 and says, First donation for AGDQ 2017 and certainly not the last. I enjoyed watching the Final Fantasy and Gauntlet runs this evening. Thanks to the runners and everyone who works to put on these events. Maydog6 donated $100 and said this is for the NES block and for Mom. Aww. Long Way Down 42 donated $50 a bit ago. Just wanted to get around to their comment. They said thanks to the organizers and runners for a really fun event. I got my dad hooked during the Descent 2 run. Keep up the good fight. Thanks A Long Way Down. I love that there's something for everyone here. Yeah, Descent 2 is a great game. Can't quite think of a Dark Souls analogy for it, but it probably involved, freedom of movement and shooting things in a mine. Dax367 donated $75 and said, I've been watching for 3 years now and have tried to donate whenever I can. Well, we appreciate it, Dax. Cezanne donated $29 and said, keeping up the tradition of donating every year on my birthday. AGDQ is one of the best ways to celebrate. Best of luck to all the runners. I wonder if that $29 donation has something to do with your birthday. Well, thanks, Cezanne. And now it's the moment you've all been waiting for, the Krion Conquest.
Oh, so we live now?
Yeah?
All right.
All right.
Well, I'm Badbrakes. I'm going to do Krion Conquest for you. I got my commentator here, Blecky, and Cool Kid. And we got also Andy on the couch, who's also the runner of this game. So, I guess we have to start, and I'll do the countdown. Anything else you want to say?
No, we're all set.
All right. Yep. So let's go. 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, this game is so broken, and you'll see just why that is. You're going to see a lot of zips, especially in World 2. You're going to see him clipping into the walls everywhere. As soon as this game starts, you're going to think, oh, Mega Man clone, Mega Man clone. This game might have even more kind of like skips and glitches than a lot of the later Mega Mans, certainly. You've got a lot of weapon choices just from the get-go. You don't need to defeat any robot masters or anything like that for them. You've got, say, the normal charge attack, where the charge attack does 4 times the damage of a normal pellet. You've got this broom, which is really what you're going to be seeing most of the time. Broom is sort of like, if you've played Mega Man 3, it's sort of like Rush Jet from that game, a little less controllable, but it is going to be central, and you don't need to rely on weapon power or anything like that. You've got the fire attack, which is kind of this cinematic attack. It does heavy damage and just does a lot of damage on screen, but it's low. Because it's a cutscene, it does low damage per second, sort of, so you'll really only see it for one boss in particular. You've also got the freeze attack, which will freeze any kind of flames or enemies, but I don't think you'll see that at all so as we get going. You've got the shield attack, which will kind of, when it's charged up, will release a shield for you, and then finally you've got the ball attack, which you won't see until the end. You saw badbrakes there. You saw him kind of stand on spikes. You'll be seeing that a lot. It's just as you're able to stand on the very side of the spikes. You cannot stand at the center. There's no kind of glitch like that. But just because of the way hitboxes work, you are able to stand on the sides. This is a very difficult game, especially on the American version. You don't have any continues in this game. You only have 3 lives, and there's only between like 1 to 2 lives per world that you can actually pick up. So it's very unforgiving, and as you go through, it's a very, very difficult game to beat. And badbrakes is really solid at it.
And he's actually going to pull out the... yeah, no freeze, right.
Yeah, so that is mainly where the kind of place where freeze would be useful. But badbrakes, another thing to know about this game is that you don't get health refills between stages, only after you beat a particular world. He's going for a health drop here, unfortunately didn't get it. There is another backup, which he's going to be hoping for. The reason he wants this health drop so badly is because the World 1 boss is coming up, and bosses in this game are very cycle-based. So if you need to, all right, here's where he's gonna, or no, not quite yet. But bosses in this game are very cycle-based, and so if you can use that kind of fire attack, that Phoenix attack, let's see if he gets this health drop. He did get it, awesome. He got the manipulation. All right, let's give him
1 frame.
That's a big deal.
1 frame. I was hoping to get that one.
So here we are at the first boss. So because he has that fire attack, he's going to be able to get the quick kill, assuming nothing goes wrong. That means that he only has to deal with 2 cycles instead of 3. But even though it's going to look, you'll see just how long these cycles take from one to the next. But the Phoenix attack, this fire attack, also takes a long time. So despite how long it takes between cycles, it actually only saves, badbrakes estimates between 2.5 to 3 seconds.
2.8.
2.8. 2.857, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're going to be seeing a lot of these kind of cycle-based bosses. Thanks to you guys, the donation incentive will be met, so we will be seeing all bosses this game. Nice job. naturally standing on the fire afterwards. So World 2 is actually really, probably the craziest world. You are going to be seeing a lot of zips as we go. Something just about, I don't know if it's the ice physics or what, but you're just able to do these zips. One small note, you actually, if you're sliding along the ice, you actually go faster than if you're running. So you're going to kind of see badbrakes doing that. So to set up any zips, what you need to do is the select button in this game is very funny. If you stand next to a wall, then you can kind of wedge yourself into it. So badbrakes has a 3-frame window, gets it, wedges himself with the select button, and then off he goes, cruising through the ceiling. And he gets that zip and immediately starts up with another one. So really, all you have to do this is hold select and kind of run up against the wall, turn around, and mash A. That's all he's doing here, and then this part is quite a bit more complex. He's getting a quick life just because it requires one quick stop. Then he goes all the way to the end, wiggles his way back, and jumps through the ceiling to just continue through the level normally. It's really crazy how you can do that in this game. Now, in 2.2, it's actually the scariest zip coming up because you can die very quickly, and if you mess it up, you cannot try it again, even if you die. So he's going to be trying for a very precise placement of this broom. Okay, barely got that. Now it's not over yet. He has to kind of wiggle through that white area. He should be okay, but let's be sure. Oh, and he gets right out of it. Really well done. And here, we're seeing, you can actually pause, unpause, and as you're unpausing, hold down A to just kind of buffer a jump right out of the pause. The only kind of necessary thing you need to do there is that when you pause and unpause, you need to be underneath where you originally fell. It's pretty insane. Okay, and now he uses that select trick not necessarily to kind of progress through the level, but just to get the right height in order to shoot that monster down. So now he's headed into 2-3. This is still World 2, so you are still able to zip. This one, you can actually zip here, and after you do the zip, for some odd reason, it's only a short distance that you zip, but this despawns all the enemies throughout the rest of the stage. It's really handy. There are a couple of exceptions with just kind of these more hazard-like enemies, like these, or the ones on the stage or the stage after that, or screen after that. But it's really solid, and it's a huge time save just from being able to kind of dodge these enemies. Because these enemies are just so pestering mosquitoes in your ear, and so just being able to skip them is hugely beneficial. All right. You can do a zip here, but naturally I don't blame badbrakes for wanting to skip. And plus, actually, that skip is actually only if you want to skip the boss.
Yeah.
And we are doing a boss here. So this is the second boss. There is going to be a bit of a, I believe, tricky broom, either broom navigation or just kind of getting yourself stuck in the wall.
I think I get stuck in the wall.
All right, so badbrakes is going to get stuck in the wall just to make sure that, similar to the kind of mini boss that you saw in 2.2, just to make sure he's at the right height to shoot the boss. All right, again, it is a pretty cycle-based boss, but this time badbrakes can use this time to place himself where he needs to be. And then he's right here, and then it's just mashing as fast as you can at that part, and then he's going to stand here to make sure that that he can be ready for next time. What do you think, badbrakes? One more cycle?
Let's do one more.
All right.
Let's see how it goes.
Oh, there you go. Nice job. All right, we're off to the underwater level. The water physics in this game are pretty much what you'd expect. You jump higher, as you often do. You actually move slower as well. If you're watching badbrakes carefully, you'll see that kind of when he's on that broom, he's riding it along, and you might think, and I certainly did, that if he should just kind of be always shooting it and riding along, falling off, and then shooting it again. That only actually speeds you up if you're at the edge of the screen. If you're not, you can kind of see there he moved forward slightly, and the broom stopped while he moved forward. So it doesn't actually speed you up there. Yeah, World 3 has a good amount to say about it. I mean, one thing I wanted to mention is that you just saw badbrakes do the zips. The World 2 zips are pretty hard, but it's hilarious how easy it is to just get stuck in the wall. If you have a means of playing this game and you just want to try out kind of a funny zip, you can just run up to a wall, turn around, and then hold select, turn around right next to a wall, and you're stuck in the wall. And then if you mash A, you'll just climb up the wall. It's that easy. You could just do it no problem. And you can actually kind of glitch out the game a lot and have some fun messing around with it because you can actually kind of go back up screens if you need to. The game is very, very broken. In 3-2 here, for the most part, badbrakes knows exactly where these enemies are. It seems like they'd be a nuisance, that they're totally random, but they're actually, the luck in this game, quote unquote, is kind of just based on when you enter a screen. And as soon as you enter a screen, from that point on for the rest of the screen, the enemy's movement is going to be totally deterministic. So kind of there are all these little things floating around the screen, but as long as you don't slow down too much, you're going to know exactly where they are at any given point in time. So for the most part, there's really no RNG because of that, just outside of kind of your own small differences in button presses on screens. So let's, now's a great time for a couple donations if you want to throw out a couple of those.
Yep.
Awesome. I received $80 from Last Big Boss who just said, badbrakes, hype!
Hey.
Also had $25 from
Forgot about that one.
$25 from RDO. He said, donating to help support this awesome cause, and one of my favorite speedrunners, badbrakes. Crush your world record in Krion Conquest, and then crush the top in Zelda 2. Since I'm a wildlife biologist, my donation clearly goes towards saving the animals. Katie with $25, she says, hello from Tennessee. Sleep is for the weak. Love and prayers to everyone whose life has been affected by cancer, and thanks to the runners, event volunteers, donors, and everyone watching and supporting for a great cause. We also received an anonymous donation of $800.
Ooh. Nice.
They left absolutely no comment, just letting their generosity speak for themselves. They donated toward the Ori and the Blind Forest Oreo run, though, which put that category firmly in the lead.
So this boss, it's another cycle-based boss, but you really just want to kind of, oops.
I forgot about those.
badbrakes is used to skipping these bosses. It's pretty funny. When he was telling me about it, he was so used to skipping bosses that as soon as he got to one, he was pretty sure that no speedrunner had ever seen these bosses before. So he really had to kind of recalibrate himself. So yeah, for the most part, this boss is just dodging those missiles and just getting those charge shots in. As I said before, charge shots do 4 times the damage, so you do want to try and fit those in. So 4-1, you'd think at the beginning here you want to go down, but pay attention to that up arrow because down is instant death. And what badbrakes is going to do here is he's going to prepare a broom, and he's going to try and set up the pixel positioning just right so that rather than ride up all the way, let's see if he gets it. Is that it, badbrakes? He got it. Okay, nice.
That's it.
So he can actually ascend all the way up because of that. And World 4 is a pretty vertical stage, so he's going to be going for that a lot. And just climbing this as much as possible. Because you saw how slowly the broom kind of ascends otherwise. So he's just going to be doing that a lot. Coming up here, we have badbrakes is going to be extremely, well, we'll see if he wants to be. But you have a potential 3-frame window where you can do a pretty solid skip. I don't know if he's going to do it or not, but we'll see if he does go for it, and he gets it. Very nice. 3-frame window that there. If you die, then, or if you miss it, then you're certainly dead. And then just following up with more zips. Again, to do this, all he's doing is running against the wall, holding select, facing the other way, and mashing A. That's it. If you have to do it off a broom like you did at the beginning of the level, it's considerably more difficult, a whole lot more difficult. But just doing it normal. And then I think that was another, well, yeah. But he catches himself. Good save, good save.
All right. I'm a little low on health here, but I guess we got a couple of lives burned. if needed.
Yep, so you're going to be seeing pretty similar zips here in 4.2. In the meantime, I talked a bit about RNG in this game. As far as I know, the enemies can actually drop health in the form of pumpkins, both large and small pumpkins. And I think you can, to some extent, the drop rates are deterministic just because on a particular screen, I believe kind of a cycle begins. And there are a bunch of empty frames where the enemies won't drop anything. And then, as far as I know, they can potentially drop one small pumpkin and then one large pumpkin kind of after that empty sequence of frames, and then it just starts over. That's my understanding. But unfortunately, while that sounds deterministic, it is so based on the timing of when you defeat enemies that you just can't do it regularly. badbrakes has a couple setups. That's how he was able to do the get the health drop earlier on in World 1. But otherwise, there aren't too many setups you can do, and you kind of just have to hope for the best in terms of health drops. And health drops are a big deal because it just allows you, I mean, you saw that he's been intentionally taking a lot of damage throughout these stages, and so it can just help you a lot in terms of whether it's a buffer, just plant stuff. Can he get this? He does get that. That does have to do with, once again, just kind of being able to position yourself on the edges of spikes, but that one is, in particular, is quite difficult just because of the way that you come up on the side of the screen. If he had snuck up there, then he would have gotten hit by those spikes, but instead he just kind of wiggled in.
Whoa.
And
Oh,
how's he
this
gonna
is
save
bad.
this one?
This is bad. Well,
All right, can't blame him. So you're gonna see the wiggle here again. He loves those mid-air zips. That's considerably harder than just doing it normally. So again, wiggles past the spikes, keeps going. What he is trying to do here is that pause buffer jump, and it's crazy. You can actually chain those together because you can. I mentioned before that if you buffer a jump coming out of a pause, then you can do those kind of mid-air jumps. And as long as you do it at a height lower than what you fell from, then you can chain those together. It's also true, as long as you do it from a height underneath where you paused, you can also chain those together. So you can just kind of like horizontally fly, and you'll constantly be losing some amount of horizontal distance or a vertical kind of height, but otherwise you can go for a very long distance. badbrakes did a small amount of manipulation there by just stopping at a particular kind of pixel window. I asked badbrakes how wide this pixel window was, and he said it was approximately 1 foot. So, so that's badbrakes' unit of measurement, and I love it. This is the use of the ball, and really, you might see it in the final boss, but otherwise this is really the only use for it. Just because, nice, good job.
all right.
The reason you don't see the ball too much is, besides the transition time of switching to the ball, it actually does half damage from the normal attack. So that's just the only time outside of possibly the final boss where it's really worth it.
Let's go.
All right, so what badbrakes really wants here, there's a glitch in this game where if you take damage at the same frame that you shoot, then you get a machine gun shot. He didn't get it that time. He's probably going to be trying for it each time. He didn't get it there. You'll know he gets it because there'll be a bit of a pellet right where he takes damage. But each one of these times, unfortunately, he does take that damage, so he may just need to safe it out later on. We'll see what he chooses to do.
Huh? Who's that guy still alive?
You can actually one cycle that boss if you do get the glitch. And badbrakes in his run, he gets that 1 frame trick on both the phase 1 that we just saw and this phase 2. Unfortunately, right now he just does not have the health. So I don't know if he's gonna go for it, but what you can do also is you're supposed to be forced to have your normal attack in the final phase of the boss, but you can actually trick the game into, if you start riding the broom ahead of time, he's going for it. If you start riding the broom ahead of time, then the game forgets that you switched to that broom, and it allows you to keep that broom and still keep going. And because the boss's weakness is so high up, you can just do a whole ton of damage. Oh, he's unfortunately just a bit too high.
Back up?
So he does have to stop that.
Oof.
All right, so this is where the ball does still come in handy. So he finishes up the first weak spot. Now he just has to get the second spot. Be ready.
Oh.
has
Whoa.
to trick those projectiles, and that's it. Oh no, no, something.
Oh,
That's not it,
easy,
that's not it.
easy now, Blackie. Easy
That's
now.
not. False alarm. Let's see. Let's see. That's
And
it.
time.
For real this time.
Yes.
Well played.
Nice job.
That's scary. That was scary. Oh. And Duck Fist Cold is the worst ending in any game.
Well, at least it congratulates you. You won. Congratulations.
Yeah.
And then we get this nice background. All this beautiful level design. Very, very deliberate font choice. Yeah, this game was made by Vic Tokai. They also have made such NES classics as Kid Cool and Clash at Demon Head. So if you're a Vic Tokai fan, then you can just spam their emote in the chat.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm really glad to show this game
Yeah,
at
it's a
AGDQ.
really
I think it's the first time it's been on.
So
I'm pretty sure. So it's a hidden gem on the NES, and I really like to play it. Good music, almost Mega Man-like, I'd say. And yeah, thank you so much for having me here. Oh, we didn't game over, y'all.
nice.
What? Deathless.
Oh yeah, Deathless. Awesome.
Yeah.
Who needs crummy extra lives? Okay, thanks guys.
Yeah.
During that awesome run, we had a $10 donation from J3Z who said, $10 for Mega Man in a hat. Also, a Yellow Frog in the Rain donated $50 and said, these